Telling you though, if you still want to watch a stupid Michigan movie, Escanaba in the Moonlight.
Dude, I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. It is such a cult classic that no one knows what it is.
Wow. Alright, we're live on Restream, we're live on Twitch.
For a while there too, Evil Dead was kind of considered a...
Moonpier's body's ready.
I was gonna say...
I got my Reggie face in. Evil Dead actually is something that we watched before ODNF existed as well. I had never seen the OG Evil Dead, so we actually watched the original and the remake over like 2 nights.
Oh, nice. That's what I'm saying. For a while there, it was like nobody knew what that was, Evil Dead, and then all of a sudden...
Heart of Darkness, wasn't it, that made everyone go back?
Maybe. I honestly don't know what the turning point was. It felt like it was about mid-2000s, where all of a sudden you started seeing people make Ash references and stuff like that. But those were fun, dumb fun horror movies.
Yeah, I feel like once we got into high school and like maybe early college, so that's like late 90s, early 2000s.
For you, maybe you all fucking bastards.
I know. I feel like that like region of cult classic films started cropping up where it's like, guys ever seen Rocky Horror Picture Show? It's like, no. Well, all right.
Dude, I was just talking to my wife about that. So in high school,
still never seen it.
Yeah. In high school, I never knew what that movie was. Never heard of it before, and I was invited by a couple friends to come to their house and watch it.
Okay. And
it turned into a big group thing where like a ton of people in this small little town showed up, and they were watching it outside in this guy's backyard because he had a projection.
That's the perfect way to see that great, terrible movie.
I'm getting ready to watch this movie, and all of a sudden people just start yelling stuff throughout the movie.
Yep.
And I have no clue what's going on. To this day, I still don't know what the hell the movie's about.
Yep.
But it was one of the weirdest freaking experiences I've ever had with a movie.
I've been to probably 30 or 40 of those midnight showings where everyone interacts with them, and that is always, even if you know what's going on, it's always a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it, obviously. I know that the famous English character actor guy is in it, who is amazing in everything he seems to be in.
Tim Curry.
That's the one, thank you very much. The original It.
Yes.
I know he's in it. I know there's a lot of weird stuff in it, and that's literally all I know. It's like
a lot of weird stuff.
It's on the ODNF list.
Okay. That is a weird, terrible, fantastic movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For this month now. I just realized it's September. This month we have one which I probably should have seen already, which is Lost Boys. Neither of us have seen this.
Never seen that. Yeah,
I haven't either.
That's insane.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those movies I should have seen by this point, even if it's on cable or something. Hello there, T-Bomb Rocks in chat.
I mean, honestly, I'm just super excited because, I mean, you can guess it from my musical taste, but I'm very eclectic in my interests. If I stick on a randomized playlist of every bit of music I have on this machine, you'll go from early 2001 new metal, so you're talking your Papa Roach,
your Trapped in there.
Yeah, get your Headstrong by Trapped in there. I even know the name of the song, Boston, so screw you.
Because that's the only song anyone that knows of Trapped is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because WWE used it for a pay-per-view. I believe it was...
And that's like their only real good song.
Survivor Series. You go from that to like early Muse, then Poets of the Fall, then Chopin, Mozart, weird dance remixes of stuff, the Rez soundtrack. It's like, I am eclectic in everything, and movies is no exception to that.
Yeah.
So like, I'm super pumped because this month is one we haven't seen. Either of us haven't seen. And I've been a little off. Like, It was a really good piece of content that my wife will kill me about later. So enjoy my time on the show while it lasts, folks.
Reason
Moon
number
Beer's
3
last
why
show.
I might not be here.
Yes. So my wife has this thing where she doesn't trust my judgment of things that she likes.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So let's say, so Boston, you talked about like urban fantasy books, and I was like,
Yeah.
read Nightwatch. Nightwatch is great. Read Nightwatch.
Nightwatch is great.
You might go into that thinking, I'm just reading it because he recommended it to me. I don't believe that he knows what I like, so therefore.
Okay. So if you, let's say you watch a TV show and you're like, I know you'll love this. I really want you to check this out. She'll be like, yeah, bullshit.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Like, literally, that's it. But she does it specifically with games.
Mm,
Movies, we'll both go into it with a whatever. It's a movie. Let's just watch it and see how we feel.
right.
I think my next choice of movie, she'll love, but I've got to cross my fingers and hope because I'm not confident in my ability when it comes to movies to be able to say, yes, you will like this, or no, you will not like this, because sometimes things just don't click, and it happens with everybody. You know, something you think something will click and it doesn't. But the reason I'm bringing this up is for the movie thing, but it just reminded me the ultimate piece of contention in this household is apparently I really need to get back to this and beat Tropico 3's achievement list.
Yes.
Because there is an ongoing saga where my wife, who is obsessed with Mass Effect, Dragon Age, like games that have possibly in some versions of them bad gameplay but incredible stories.
Sure.
Build your own character, develop their story. She's
Party
all about,
interactions.
yeah, she's all about that. She loves the lore. Like my wife loves lore so much. And I keep saying to her, and I have been since we started talking essentially, play Alpha Protocol.
Yes.
You will love Alpha Protocol.
Right.
And her response is always, until we started this bet like 2 years ago, her response is always, I don't trust what you think I will like.
Sure. Well, and Alpha Protocol on the outside doesn't look like the most interesting game. Is even from screenshots and videos.
That is true. But yeah, I think I need to beat the Tropico 3 achievement list just to force her to play that thing. Because I'm pretty sure she has it installed on the PC. And I'm pretty sure there's probably a fan pack out there with a whole bunch of patches on there to help with the issues with Alpha Protocol.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I don't know.
The good thing is Tropico 3 is really good.
I already beat the campaign.
Okay.
I just need to do the DLC.
Oh,
That's literally all I need to do, and the deal is done. She has to play Alpha Protocol.
right.
I'm just lazy. And also, there's like a million games out all the time, ever.
That's the problem. And now it's video game season.
Mm-hmm. John Madden saw his shadow.
That's right. Should save that for the show.
I think it's like the third year in a row I've made that joke because it's just like... Yeah.
That's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys ready to start this thing?
Oh, maybe.
The nymph just left.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta go.
He did say maybe.
That's fair.
Because the entire time that we've been talking, I've had Laffy Taffy playing in my freaking head now. I can't get rid of the damn song. Ever since I said it. And I'm like, damn.
The curse.
I don't really suffer from earworms that much, except for one. And I will not even mention its name, because it will get in my head. It's the one you sent me the GIF of the GameCube GIF thing, Boston. It's that.
It doesn't
I'm not
happen
even
very
gonna hum
often to me, but when you just get a Laffy Taffy, ooh, and it's like, yep, nope, that's stuck in my head now.
Don't even know what song you're talking about.
Look it up, L4D, Laffy Taffy.
No, thank you very much.
One of those songs that you probably have heard like at a cookout somewhere.
You'd say that like I leave the house.
Yeah, that's fair. None of us do.
I'm gonna send
It's
you
video
a link.
game season. We can't go outside.
Yeah.
Dude, it's any season I can't go outside.
It's true. The sun is out there. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
There are people outside.
Yeah.
Do I have a water? Yes, I have a water. Good.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hello, my friends.
And the Nymph.
Hey, how's it going?
So we don't typically talk about... the ethos behind this show is typically... We're not going to talk a lot about religion or politics or a lot of social issues. We're here to try and help take your mind off of that for the 45 minutes to 3 hours that the show runs every week. A lot of stuff.
To be honest, everybody who knows us also knows, like, if you follow us on Twitter, if you talk to us playing games or whatever like that, you know we have opinions, we don't just generally express them a lot.
Yeah.
We try to be fair with our opinions.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of stuff happened around the video game industry this week. The movement in movies and TV starting a couple years ago was called Me Too. That seems fair to attribute it to video games as well. There have been a lot of accusations about a lot of accusers in the industry, sort of from a bunch of different studios, a bunch of different roles this week. As a result, we are removing games that are associated with accused abusers from the various lists we manage here in the show. Largely, that means Game Club and We Rogue Like It. But there are probably other lists that we're making for maybe future shows that stuff is going to be removed from. That doesn't mean they're going to be removed forever. If the studio comes out and says, well, that person worked for us, but they never worked on this game, then that's okay. Or if more information comes to light or something like that, absolutely the game can come back on the list. But as of right now, we're keeping up with that stuff and removing that from the list because, as the show always has, we side with the survivors and we're not going to side with the accused abusers. So, as it is with Gamergate, Gamergate, that is a trash movement by trash people. We're going to draw our line in the sand and say we believe the survivors and we stand with them, and we're not going to support the accused abusers. So, just putting that out there here at the beginning. Apologies for bringing the show down a little bit, but this is some very important stuff that's happening in the industry, and it's large enough that we definitely have to address it here at the beginning.
Yeah, the world is a mess as it is right now. The more safe spaces we can get inclusive for everybody, the better.
Yeah.
Irrelevant of any issues that's going on, the more safe spaces that exist, the better it is for everybody. And work should be a safe space, just like your home should be a safe space.
Yeah, and we hope that this show is safe as well. I know we're not always 100% the best with some terminology or stuff like that. We are really trying, and we are really trying to keep up with the changing pace of a lot of landscapes. So we hope that if we do step out of line, that you let us know, and we can fix some of those issues. So
yeah, stuff like that, call us on it.
Yeah,
like
we want to learn.
You can't change and improve yourself as a human unless your flaws and faults are pointed out.
Yeah,
it's how you make yourself better is by knowing when you've made a mistake. So if we have made a mistake to you, let us know. Let's actually discuss it. Not yell at each other, discuss.
Yeah, constructive criticism.
Yeah, and everything will be fine.
All right, so now that we've laid the groundwork for all of that, Moonpier, what have you been playing this past week?
Why do I have to pick us up after that?
I can go if you want, but
I can go too. I don't care.
I'm the dourest of all of us. You do know that.
My list of games this week is subtitled "The Week of Disappointments," so I'm not sure I'm a bright shining ray here either.
I'm guessing I've probably got the newest thing out of all of us.
No,
probably.
Unless you played the Blair Witch Nymph.
No.
Right, the actually very recently released
newest.
But I have another game that came out Friday.
Oh, so you definitely got the newest out of all of us.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start. Actually, funnily enough, I actually have a perfectly light-hearted game to start this with.
Blair Witch.
Senua's Sacrifice. Let's do it.
Unfortunately, no. I didn't actually get time to play Blair Witch this week. I got sucked into a different game, which I'm not going to talk about yet.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the lighthearted one, which is Dead by Daylight. No, I'm just kidding. I did play Dead by Daylight. Dead by Friday happened. It's fun. Send me a message on Xbox. Blah blah blah. Dead by Daylight. I've talked about this every week. I'm going to start by talking about Supermarket Shriek. Which, number one, is an amazing pun, because I don't know if it existed over here, but early 90s, late to 2000s, there was a game show in the UK called Supermarket Sweep.
It did exist here in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I think they called it Supermarket Rush or something like that.
Supermarket Sweep over here, yeah.
Was it Sweep still? Okay.
I watched it like every day as a kid, where I'm like,
I did
gotta
too
get
in
home
the
and watch
summer.
it.
Yeah, soap operas and game shows.
Yep, yeah, soap operas, The Bold and the Beautiful, and Supermarket Sweep.
Yes.
Okay. So, it's basically a pun on that, except instead of collecting stuff, you're just racing around a supermarket in most of the levels.
Okay.
And this game is weird to describe. So there's a dude, there's a goat, and there's a shopping cart. I have to say cart because I want to instinctively call it a trolley, because that's what we call it in England.
We can do the translation.
Please. I get so much crap all of the time for using Englishisms. You basically yell to control the shopping cart.
Okay. Is this a voice-controlled game?
No, but it feels like at some point it might have been a mobile game.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. It's a strange game. It's so strange. So it's really cutesy. Like, do you remember Bomber Pilot's art style? Like that cutesy character kind of thing. It's got that similar kind of character design to it. The man and the goat are sitting in the shopping cart, and the man is on the left, the goat is on the right.
Okay.
You pull the left trigger to have the man scream, and you pull the right trigger to have the goat scream.
You're talking too fast for me to write down all these titles. Hang on.
Yeah, it's just it's too much.
So you yell to propel the cart forwards. I did not mean for that to rhyme. I'm sorry.
It's a good one.
And it's basically a dude and a goat screaming, but it's got weird inverse, like, tank controls.
Okay.
It's like, okay, so the man is on the left, you pull the left trigger, it makes him scream, which makes the cart rotate to the right because he's doing the screaming.
Gotcha.
You pull the right trigger, the goat screams, and it rotates to the left. You pull them both at the same time, guess what happens? The cart goes forwards.
Okay.
It's insane.
Yeah, I'm picking that up.
It's very, very insane, but weirdly fun.
Yeah.
Because, so the game starts. You don't get obviously shocker. There's no story in this game about a man and a goat in a car screaming their way around.
Level 1, let's go.
Firstly, the art design is gloriously ripped off from everything.
Okay.
It's got a Tesco logo that's like Value Mart, except it's obviously the Tesco branding.
It's like Lesco.
Yes, it's got Aldi's, it's got Lidl, it's got all these chains that you'd recognize, and it's just like, you're clearly an iPhone store, except you're not an iPhone store.
Right.
It's stupid. It's basically like, so you go into, you start on this street, you go down the street, and then you scream your way into using the term scream as the actual movement is kind of insane. You go into the store, it's like, oh, this is a lap or an obstacle course. Go around the supermarket, get to the finish line, and get out the exit door of the supermarket. Great. Do that in 45 seconds, you get 2 stars. Do it in 40, you get 3 stars.
Okay.
There is no energy, there's no nothing like that. I could see where the energy could come into it.
Sure.
But there is none, because this game's on Game Pass.
Ah.
This was one of the games I decided to randomly download the other week.
Right.
Then you'll have ones where it's like, oh, it's a destruction derby in a supermarket, and you have to go and knock over all of the beans.
Great.
And it's just tins of beans all over the supermarket. And when you go through them, obviously bean juice spills everywhere and you scream and stuff. But then they put like swinging axes in the aisles and spikes.
Naturally.
And conveyor belts and floors that shift and move and switches that you've got to press.
This sounds really good.
It's hard to explain. It's so dumb.
I'm sort of picking up what you're putting down, though. It sounds like it's
mindless. It's stupid. It's
yeah,
dumb.
like fast levels.
Really fast levels. Like I think I've hit one level that was longer than a minute.
Right.
And it has a whole bunch of secrets in the street that you're going down.
Ooh.
And the first secret I found, it's hard to describe. It was a red. It looked like it's very English, by the way, because it's got like red phone boxes and everything like that. So you're clearly in London. Plus, it says "Welcome to England" is the first achievement you get. It was a red, like a lamppost, except without the light on the top.
Mm-hmm.
It was red, and this description. I'm trying to be funny here, and this is just going to sound filthy.
Okay.
It's a red bottom, a white shaft,
Uh-huh.
and then it's got a red ball on the top with a blue circle and a yellow star inside of it. Does that remind you of anything from video game history?
Flagpole.
No.
It doesn't, because I'd do a terrible job of describing it, but if you saw that on screen, you would know that is a Sonic 2 checkpoint marker.
Ah, right. The little swinging. Gotcha.
Yes, the flagpole.
Yeah.
So I saw that and I thought, I wonder if that's a secret.
Yeah.
And then I went and touched it, and I got transported to the Sonic 2 secret stage, the half pipe.
Sweet.
That's really good.
So then I'm screaming my way down this half pipe, going side to side in this half pipe, trying to smash all these beans while these spikes are all there.
That's perfect.
It's
Is this on Game Pass on console too?
It's on console. I only played it on the console version. This game is dumb. It's stupid. I don't know why I want to keep playing it, but I really want to keep playing it.
Supermarket Shriek.
Yes. It's a goat and a man screaming. Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
That sounds like a game I am in the mood for right now.
Yes. It's a very good palate cleanser. I may or may not have sat down to think, oh, I'll play 2 levels, and then 7 levels later, I was like, I need to stop playing now because I need to go to bed.
Right.
It's one of those type of games. I played a little bit of Apex this week, not a whole lot now that the event is finished. So I just jumped in, did a couple of runs here and there with my wife and Em. Had a fun time, got shot a whole bunch, died even more. I know that's strange, you ask. How did he die more than he got shot? Because I'm bad at the game, that's why. Apex
the game doesn't even have fall damage.
Yeah.
It doesn't
until
until you accidentally jump off a cliff and just straight up die.
Oh, wow.
So you find out your character can't swim.
Yes,
yeah.
Pretty much. Okay, so yes, Apex, Dead by Daylight, the usual on those two. I'm going to end with the big one, so that means I'm going to do the cross-platform, cross-host mentioning now.
Yes.
Unless you want to save it for your section.
Nope.
You sure? You can have one positive in your ray of depression.
I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I did refer to it as a ray of depression. It's a ray of sunshine and whatever. Yeah, me and Boston streamed Risk of Rain 2 on Saturday.
Yep. It's on the YouTube channel right now if anyone wants to watch it. It's a little over 3 hours, which in Risk of Rain means 3 runs.
Yes. Yeah, Risk of Rain 2 is really good.
Yeah, they finally it all came together.
I was scared because you were talking a lot of yang about this game.
Yeah, when it first came out, it did not click with me.
Yeah, and neither did Risk of Rain 1 with me, to be honest. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, no, Risk of Rain 2 is actually really, really good.
Yeah, they somehow managed to put that in 3D, and it works really well.
And all the characters play the same. They feel the same. The enemies feel the same. Like, the whole... I don't know how they turned this 2D game into 3D game and basically kept it the same.
Yep.
It's really well done. We had a couple of dumb moments. We had the King of Drones, who...
Yeah. Drone King, the King of Drones.
He was kind of more... an inbred king of drones because he couldn't seem to find his way around the map sometimes.
Yeah, his navigational core maybe wasn't the strongest. His AI was lacking.
So hopefully he gets patched.
Yeah, he was trying his hardest though.
He wasn't
Until
trying
he
hard.
wasn't.
Yeah.
I watched you guys play too, so
Yeah, he was trying his hardest until there was any geometry in his way.
Yes, which in a game full of geometry is a problem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we played what? I played as the Commando and unlocked the Huntress.
Mm-hmm.
You already had the Huntress unlocked, so we did double Commando, double Huntress. So overpowered.
Yeah.
Like,
That was a great run.
yes, it was.
Yeah.
And then we looped and challenged the Mountain King. Thank you, Boston.
Yeah, Challenge of the Mountain, found out, is not the thing you want to do.
Yeah,
Ever.
I couldn't help but make the Fellowship of the Ring quotes the whole time as well.
Yep.
We must go through the mountain. Think of the little ones.
Risk of Rain 2 is really great, and I was having a lot of fun with it single player, and it's nice to know that both Risk of Rain 1 and 2 are even better. They're really great games single player, but man, they're really great with more than one player.
Yeah, and the thing I like the most about 2 is you keep unlocks through playing multiplayer. In 1, if you played multiplayer, you didn't unlock anything.
Yeah, and you had
Which is-
everything unlocked in the game from the get-go when you played the first one co-op.
Yeah, so I mean, good on them. Like it's a solid game. I actually really liked it.
And man, does that soundtrack still rip.
Yes,
God,
it
it's
does.
so good. Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was yeah? We had the final run was the death run basically, where we basically just got boned. And stupid King Drone wasn't doing his job.
Bosses stacking up on themselves.
Yeah,
Watching, healing.
Yeah, healing.
Yes.
That was fun to figure out.
Yep, it was like, oh, I'm doing well. Wait, why is their health back up again?
Right.
Oh.
This is not possible.
But no, it's a fun game, and now I am really tempted to pick up that pack on the Xbox.
It's a good deal, yeah.
If it wasn't for the fact that we literally just got 7 new games in this household.
Yep.
Like, I have Man of Medan sitting on my system waiting to be launched. I have Blair Witch sitting on my system waiting to be launched. I did install and started to play my final game this week, Control.
I just bought this yesterday. I am so excited to hear what you think.
What platform did you buy it on?
PS4 Pro.
Okay, good.
Which is the exact reason. I didn't think... I was thinking about buying it on PC because I have an NVIDIA card and it has all those great ray tracing and it looked beautiful. But I don't think my video card on my PC is powerful enough to do all that great stuff. And I don't have an Xbox One X, so PS4 Pro.
So
yeah, this was a game that I went from not caring about to finding out what some of its major influences were. And got immediately interested, but I'm waiting to pick it up until next week.
Yeah, right.
So, I'm just going to get the bad out the way first and foremost.
Okay.
Never pause the game. Never, ever. Okay, so, let me stop right there. I am playing this installed on a faster external hard drive on the Xbox One X. Not the standard X, on the X.
Not the vanilla, not the S. The X.
The X.
Yeah.
The quote-unquote most powerful console ever released.
Beefy boy.
Yes. Every single time I pause this game and unpause it, the frame rate hits like a mofo.
Weird.
I'm talking 1 to 2 frames for about 2 seconds.
Oh, weird. Okay.
And then it smooths out, and it's fine.
Right. So, don't finish a gunfight before you pause.
Yes, 100%. The map has a frequency of about every 2 times you open it. So 1 in 2 chance of it not showing the actual map when you pull up the map.
Okay.
It shows you location names and it shows you fast travel points, but it doesn't actually show you the rooms in the map.
I was wondering what Remedy was talking about on Twitter when they said that they were going to patch the map. I was like, what happened to your map? But
it doesn't show.
So you've hit, like, so far 2 out of 2 of things that they say, yes, we're patching very quickly.
The pop-in / texture load is very noticeable in some areas.
Okay.
The load times are atrocious.
Hmm.
And again, I'm using a slightly faster hard drive than the one built in. I'm using it on an X, and it's a USB 3 hard drive, I believe, as well.
Okay.
So I'm not exactly running on, paper mache hardware over here.
Yeah.
The checkpointing is god-awful.
Okay.
Here is a boss fight. You die on the boss. Here is the last control point you were at. Use this elevator, which is a load time. Go to the next zone, which is a load time. Face the boss, which has a cutscene in front of it. Don't figure out quick enough. Die, rinse and repeat the whole thing again.
Woof. Okay.
Anything you collect, any items you collect, any material, stuff like that, it saves all that stuff. It saves the collectibles and stuff like that. But you are very, very spongy. Like,
squishy, you mean?
You are the opposite of spongy. You are very squishy.
Right.
Especially at the start of the game, and it is very easy to get overwhelmed and die, and then get hit by a ridiculously, not overlong, but a long enough load time to when you die 2 seconds later, it starts to get irritating.
Right.
I had one boss. It was clock related. That is all I will say. Because there are holes, and if you fall to your death, guess what? It doesn't kick you back up. It kills you, and you load again.
Oh, rough.
I had a clock-related boss, literally trying to be as spoiler-free as possible.
I appreciate that. I'm going to start this game in like 2 days, so.
There is some holes in the area, and I consistently fell down this one particular hole a lot. It took me 3 hours to beat the boss. Probably half of that was load times.
Woof.
And that's just partially my fault too, because I'd run in, make one mistake, and fall down the stupid hole again. Because I'm an idiot sometimes.
I won't do it this time. No.
So, most of the negatives are out the way. I really love this game.
Yeah,
Like, a lot.
I'm surprised at how many people are out there saying they really love this game, especially if they've been pretty down on games lately.
It is shocking to me how much this thing has sucked me in. Like, I played and loved Quantum Break. It I believe it got my Game of the Year that year because it's a Remedy game and this is a Remedy household. I've got no problem with admitting the consumer bias all over that thing.
Sure.
I loved Quantum Break. Unabashedly, flaws and warts and all, I love Quantum Break. I know other people in this room feel differently, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Him.
Control feels like an evolution of Quantum Break.
Like what they've been working towards with Alan Wake and Quantum Break and...
Yes, so let's get some of the stuff out of the way first and foremost. It's a Remedy game, so you've got that slightly too quick swimmy motion when you're moving around. Same way Alan Wake was a little bit difficult to control sometimes, and Quantum Break controlled very similarly.
It's not my favorite. Okay.
It does that. It's got the same kind of... 1 second. It's got the same kind of gunplay as Quantum Break has, but I feel like it's been refined a lot more.
Okay.
The auto aim has been the aim assist has been ramped up like crazy, so you don't feel like such a stupid idiot for missing a headshot 17 times. It's like, you're close enough. It's a headshot.
Yeah,
kind
like
of thing.
You got it. It's fine.
The concept of this game is bonkers. Like, legitimately insane. Like, I don't even know how to describe it.
I've read very little of it, and what I have read has sort of left me saying, like, okay, yeah, I can get behind what this bureau's trying to do. I'm interested enough to not read any more about it.
May I discuss the first 10-15 minutes of the game?
Oh yeah, sure.
So you're Jesse. Jesse walks into this big building, which is the Federal Department of Control. Of course it is. It has all of the appropriate branding of U.S. agency.
Yep.
You go in, you meet the janitor. There's something going on with him I have no idea about right now. You have a meeting with the director, but when you get to the director's office, he has killed himself with his pistol.
Okay.
Which you pick up, and the pistol is essentially the interview to get the job for the director. You could only pick up the gun and use the gun if you are a director.
Oh wow. Okay, I see.
If you pick up the gun and you're not a director, you pick up the gun, it forces you to do this with it.
Right.
And then if you pass the test, you control the gun. If you don't pass the test, guess what happens next?
Right.
So, yeah. Now you're the director.
Right.
And I've made some random notes here. So, did you guys ever watch Fringe?
Oh yeah. Like
Yeah.
the first season, really liked it.
This is essentially a game about living in that world.
Great. 2 thumbs up.
So far, some of the things I have, the game has broached on a whole bunch of subjects. Now, this game is also, for the record, it's written by Sam Lake. Who,
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, I believe he was the facial mask for Max Payne. And
Yeah, maybe.
he has been Remedy's creative director for a long time.
Yeah.
Mr. Lake was very clearly on LSD a lot over the past couple of years. Because in this game, we're talking collective consciousness theory,
Great.
dimensionalities, non-Euclidean spaces,
I love it.
time and space, and
Naturally.
a whole bunch of things around that whole subject. When you arrive in the building, there is a note that says, don't bring any smart objects, don't bring any smartwatches, don't bring any phones, no modern technology. Because this building it's called the oldest house.
That's a
and
great name.
this is it's a non-Euclidean space. It shifts and changes the way it looks and the rooms and the layout based on how it's feeling at any particular time.
Great. I love it.
And it does that in really weird ways.
Okay.
There is a light switch, for example, that teleports you.
Naturally. Yep.
There is weird puzzles in the game. There's a whole bunch of like environmental storytelling and puzzles. The game's got like 5,000 collectibles.
I've seen some of those, and I'm looking forward to collecting all of them.
And oh boy, I see a piece of paper on the floor, and I stop my gunfight. I go and pick up that piece of paper, and then I hold the back button to read it because it's treated seriously in the fact that here is a document about this particular object and whether or not it has any paranatural things going on with it.
That's a good one.
Yes. And it has the suitable... This was found by redacted name, so it's a big black thing over the thing.
Oh, good.
In location here, agent redacted name, unfortunately died, blah, 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 blah. Here is a story about a random object. One of the notes that you find when you first come in is don't bring in any iconic imagery. So,
Okay.
because the whole thing with it is like, it's hard to explain. Like, they introduce it really early in the game, but it's like part of the whole supernatural, paranatural thing they have going on is things that become it's called an object of power, because basically enough people in the world were focused on this one specific thing that all the paranatural entities kind of forces were gathered around it, and it imbued it with some form of power. So
Gotcha.
they talk about the floppy disk, which when they talk about the floppy disk, they're talking about the 9-inch floppy that was the one that the Americans stole from Russia that had the potential to launch their nukes.
Right.
Now, at one point on the planet, everybody was thinking about this one floppy disk.
Gotcha.
Then there is a rubber duck. There is a television set. There is a safe. There is a refrigerator that survived a house collapse for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And there's stories behind every single one of these items.
That's cool.
And some of them are really interesting and genuinely amazing.
Yeah.
And some of the rest of them are just like, okay, you're just clearly you take an LSD and watch too much Fringe, Sam. You need to take a break, please, because I don't know what it is. It's so intriguing. It's like I hate to say it, I'm literally probably about 2 hours away from beating the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 hours, roughly. I've played nothing but Control this week, essentially. Like, all of my time has gone into Control because I just want to play this game. It's got so many different elements and so many different things flying at it from all different angles. You immediately start questioning reality the second you're in that building.
Right.
Because you take 4 lefts. Oh, sorry, you take 2 lefts, a right, and then straight, and then another right, and you're back at the main entrance again. It's like, logistically, in my head, that made no sense.
Wait a sec.
And for whatever reason, they've designed this building. It looks incredible. Like,
Yeah.
Some of the screenshots. I mean, I think you commented on the furnace room one, which is the big orange light at the back of the room.
Yeah.
Like,
Even in screenshots, you can tell, like, there's a lot going on here.
I think Quantum Break looked beautiful. I think this knocks it out the park. And then they start messing with reality.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Which, there was a level in Warhammer Vermintide 1, which is one of my favorite level design moments of all time. Because it does something unexpected with level design, and I absolutely adored it. And this game is just full of those moments.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I don't understand what's going on here, but sure, why not? I've got so many screenshots on my hard drive now that, like...
Just like, look at this thing!
I want to post it to Twitter, but I literally don't want to spoil these moments for people. I don't want anything to come out, because I think the first time you run down a corridor and something weird happens to the world, it's genuinely kind of like, okay, things are a little bit odd.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just get weirder from there.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
I love this game. I unabashedly adore this game so much. I mean, the acting in it is okay. The motion capture is pretty good. For me, this thing is just all about the story. I want a defined ending. I want...
Fingers crossed.
This feels like it could be that Quantum Break, Alan Wake thing, where it's like the last 2 hours, stuff goes real weird, real quick, but it kind of sorts itself out in the end.
Yeah.
That's how this kind of feels. And I'm hoping that this does that. Because right now I have a lot of questions that need to be answered.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I've got like 4 main questions. And even if those 4 main questions and the 5,000 sub-questions don't get answered, I'm okay with that, because the 4 main questions got answered.
Oh, okay.
But this is an impressive game for me. Like, flaws, warts and all, I love this game.
Yeah.
A lot. And that's... I
gotta play this.
I want to talk about so much stuff with it, but I just can't, because...
It's like the most natural spoiler cast episode.
Yes.
Well, and judging by what your questions are, looking at the things that have helped influence this game, you may not get those questions answered at all.
Oh, there is a whole bunch of Twin Peaks in this thing.
Well, I was going to say, have you guys ever heard of SCP?
Oh, yeah.
Serve, Contain, Protect?
Yeah.
This was apparently another one of the bigger influencers for this game.
I would hope so.
Yeah, and I am a real nerd for that website. I have read, I think I'm in the 3,000s now, out of the 5,000 that they have.
Yeah.
And that was kind of, like, I was watching somebody stream this game. I didn't really look into it beforehand, so I was just watching someone playing it. And when they started going through the building and stuff, I'm like, man, this is giving like a real Site 19 feeling.
Where it says SCP all over it.
Yeah, and then they started picking up documents, and just the way, like you were saying, the way that they are detailed with the documents and how certain things are redacted. I'm like, that looks like a containment procedure.
Yep.
And then I just happened to look up, the game, and that's when I found an E3 video interview, and they were talking about how SCP was one of the bigger, the big three that were influencing the game. I'm like, oh wow, so this just went from, oh, this looks interesting to, well, I'm buying this now.
Right, I'm scooping this up.
It's so intriguing. Like I said, like they do so much stupid collectibles. Like, who cares? At the end of the day, it's a piece of paper. But I'm going to read every single one of them.
Yeah.
Without fail, I'm going to read every one of them that I can find, because it's just so like you said, it's the world building, and it's something that I absolutely think Remedy does probably better than most people. Is they build a world. They don't give you all the answers in that world, but they always build a hell of a world. Like, say what you want about Quantum Break, but that built a world.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love this game so much.
I gotta start this. Maybe that might be my tomorrow game. It's just my wife's got the whole day off. Let's just sit down, bang out some control. Yeah.
If you don't mind Remedy games, if you like Remedy games, go buy it. It's a little insane, and the fact that your gun is one gun that changes forms, is glorious.
I always love
literally that. It's a pistol, now it's a shotgun, now it's a sniper rifle, now it's this other thing, and it's like literally just a pistol, and it's called the service weapon. Great. Simple, efficient, perfect. I love this game. That's all I've been playing. Move on. I can't talk anymore without really going into spoilers.
How about you, Nimp?
Alright, so still playing Cold Steel 2. Legends of Heroes Trials of Cold Steel 2. I know every week I keep saying I'm going to beat this and have it done by the next episode, and that's because it keeps feeling like I'm at the end, and I'm not.
Just 2 more hours. Whoops. Another chapter.
So I'm playing this game without a guide, and I've already been prompted 3 times now that, hey, this is the point of no return. So that's why I keep saying every week, I'll have it finished by next week.
Right.
And then the story keeps going.
3 final dungeons?
Yeah, well, it's the rule of 3s. Now you've got it 3 times. That should be the last one.
But that's the problem, though, is that these aren't even final dungeons. These are just... I'm still in the wrap-up area of the main story. Like, I haven't even gotten to the conclusion area of the main story. This is all just, hey, this is all still happening kind of crap.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, I mean, the game has been wrapping up for the final dungeon for the last 15 hours now, and I still haven't made it to the final dungeon yet.
So dumb.
And
I love it.
Really kind of what's been bothering me with the game is that they're trying to wrap up all the loose ends from the beginning of the game. Towards the beginning of the game, your sister gets kidnapped with a noble person and a couple other people. A couple hours later, you've already saved everyone but your sister, and then you don't hear, like, no one talks about your sister for the longest time.
Okay.
And now all of a sudden I am in the part of the story where I have to go rescue his sister, which, one, I completely forgot she was still kidnapped because they literally don't say anything about it
for like 40
anymore.
hours.
And 2, after they said, hey, we found your sister, I was like, I thought she was dead.
Right.
Like, I just completely forgot about her. So I'm at that part now where I have to save her, and then it feels like I might be towards the end of the game. I honestly don't know.
Maybe for real this time?
Yeah, I've gotten to they've padded this out so much where I've just taken back an area, a location, that was occupied by enemy forces at the start of this game. Came back, freed everybody, did a walk around. It was like this whole ham-fisted, like, oh, this is where we all started, and, we've changed so much since we've come back. And I'm like, no, man, you guys did not earn this. This doesn't feel right. And then my character, eventually, you meet up with whoever you had, like, the largest link level with.
Oh, okay.
So I met up with them, and then my character... Yup, and my character just, like, confesses their love in such an awkward way to this person. And it's reciprocated, but it is such awkward, ham-fisted writing.
Some real high school stuff.
Yeah, that I was like, oh my god, this is awkward, and I'm not even there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna beat it, despite this game. And this is kind of why I've been hesitant about picking up the third one, because the first one was all right, but the second one, I don't know, man.
Not doing it.
Yeah, it's not really catching me. So, but I'll get it. Maybe not next week, but it's gonna get beaten.
Yeah.
The next game that I've been playing was Anthem. I did beat that game.
Congratulations.
Still haven't.
Yeah, I am cleaning up all of the extra missions and stuff that they had in the game before going into the DLC that they dropped, the free DLC. But I mean, for all of its broken flaws, I still really like playing this game.
Nice.
Alpha Protocol.
No, Alpha Protocol was broken in systematic ways because that was how the system was laid out. You were doing a dice roll whether or not you were getting that headshot or not.
Yeah.
True.
Okay. This game is just straight broken.
Yeah. Anthem just needed way more time in the oven.
Yeah. Which sucks because it could have been a really good game. Like, there's certain things, like, as you're progressing in the story, when you start, the fort that you're in is just completely trashed. Nobody cares about that place anymore. But as you start doing missions, as you start going into the story, you start to notice that the place starts to get cleaned up a little bit more. Oh, hey, there's scaffolding over here because they're fixing something. And the next thing you know, by the end of the game, the place is like full of life. It looks almost brand new.
I
mean, it
like
looks
3 new
nice.
districts. Yeah.
It helps that that crazy janitor's out and about complaining about people throwing stuff and having puddles down.
Yeah, and talking about he wants a guardrail up over the cliff. And then you have to argue him down and say no because then a javelin can get caught on that as it's flying over.
Right.
So I really like the game, despite all of its flaws. Despite the game not wanting me to like it, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of concerned at how this DLC drop that they did they just didn't really say anything after they did it.
The
and
Cataclysm one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they don't really seem to be, as far as I know, maybe they did release something, but they don't have anything out there saying, hey, we're going to start fixing things or whatever. It just seems like this is the game now.
Yeah, they had that roadmap for a while, and they missed some stuff by a pretty big margin, and to be honest, I think they're going radio silent because the Anthem community is not great.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that the way they have treated the devs has... obviously, Anthem launched in a really bad spot. The overreaction from a lot of that hardcore community was real bad. And I think the devs just... They pulled a Hello Games, and they said, alright, cool, like, we're just closing the door behind us, and we'll work on some stuff, and when it comes out, it'll be out. See you later.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does this kind of feel like the inverse of a Ubisoft community? Where the Ubisoft community is just like, yeah, okay, it's got problems, we'll wait. We saw what you did with The Division, we saw what you did with The Division 2, we saw what you did with For Honor and Rainbow Six Siege, like, you'll get there, that's fine, we'll give you time.
And I think part of it with Anthem is mismanaged expectations from the community side, where it's like, this is going to be a MMO Mass Effect, and it's like, it was never sold as that. You're expecting too much. You're dreaming too big. That's not what this is.
Well, and the other thing is that it has EA's name on it, which, despite how the world should work, automatically garners you a decent amount of hatred. No matter what you do.
I don't know if you guys saw the comments from Bungie this week, where one of their community managers came out and said, like, look, Activision wasn't the evil overlord you guys think it did. Like, they were a really good partner, and they wanted to move in a different direction than we did, so we separated ways. Like, we're not getting out from under this overlord. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Blink twice if you're okay.
Yeah. It's because there was a whole bunch of articles that came out about what Destiny's doing right now that's not under the evil overlord of Activision. It's just like, come on.
Yeah. So I'm working on finishing leveling up, because the level cap is 30, I believe. But I still have one more Javelin to unlock, which I saved Colossus for last. Because I really enjoy...
so good.
Well, I really enjoy playing as the Ranger. I like the Interceptor, and Storm is just amazing for AoE stuff. So I kind of wanted to save Colossus for last to fulfill my Hulkbuster fantasies.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
so that's where I'm sitting with that one. Eventually I'll get to the Cataclysm DLC. I don't know when, but the last game that I've been playing is Astral Chain.
Oh.
And let me tell you, this is an amazing game.
Yeah, it
Yeah?
seems to be the consensus. Everybody is talking about this thing right now.
So, when you put the game in, you don't get the press start menu, you don't get an options menu, start new game. You just have a title screen and it tells you to hit your left trigger and right trigger.
Okay.
And you do that, and it goes right into the game. You're automatically getting the story from, okay, this is what a legion is. This is what I think they call them chimeras or whatever, is the evil chaos things that you're fighting. Hey, these are the two people that ranked really high in our test. And then you get to pick, well, do I want to play as the man or the woman, brother or sister? Pick whichever one you want. And as soon as you pick that, you're automatically thrown into a motorcycle chase scene where you're blowing stuff up down a highway.
Yes. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Everything is bright, flashy. I mean, they went all out. Once you get done with the motorcycle fight scene, you automatically get introduced to your weapon, which is called the X-Baton,
Okay.
which is a triple-purpose weapon.
Ooh.
It is a baton, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It can turn into a 3-burst pistol,
Okay.
or it can turn into a gladius.
Wow. A lot of
Interesting.
transforming weapons this week.
Yeah. So you get to pick between those three. The baton's obviously faster. The pistol's for range. The gladius is slower but does a lot more damage. You then, probably within about 5-10 minutes, get introduced to how you get your legion. And you get basically this box that you throw on their arm, and they go full-on Japanese Sentai, where they're given this item that you have no clue about. They obviously have no clue about, but as soon as they're given the item, they obviously know the moves that they need to do to slap this baby on their arm and activate it, and boom, here we go.
Yep. Visor's coming over. Yep.
Yeah. So already I'm like, all right, cool. This has got the Japanese crazy. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the best part about it is that the legion that you are control, you have your astral chain. It's the blue little line that everyone saw in the videos and stuff that connects you to your legion.
Mm-hmm.
When it's not in use, it is attached to your arm, and on your arm is a handcuff,
Okay.
a giant handcuff. And when you deploy your legion, they have a giant handcuff around their neck.
Ah.
So they
I
go
see.
full on into this fun stuff, and you have a bumper sticker basically above your butt that says police.
Great.
Yep.
But this game takes a lot of Bayonetta, Metal Gear Solid, Revengeance?
Yeah. Metal Gear
Rising.
Rising Revengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got some of that in there too. They've got like flash moves from like East, where if you dodge just right, you slow down time, and like Bayonetta, where you slow down time and you can do these ultimate attacks. If you pull off a combo attack, your Legias on your back will flash, and then you can do a Legion attack, like a combined skill Legion attack or whatever. This game goes all like balls to the wall crazy as soon as you start it.
Yeah. That's the stuff.
I'm already on file 4, I believe. So far, I don't know if the game actually opens up or not, but you're kind of dropped off into like these little areas. Well, I guess not little, probably about medium-sized areas that you get to run around in. You do police investigation. The ultimate goal is to find the end mission that you need to complete. So you go around talking to people, you do like your investigation work, stuff like that, and you pick up keywords as you're going around talking to people. And then once you've collected like 100% progress for this particular police case, you basically stop and you get kind of like this pop quiz thing where you have all these keywords that you found, and you have to
Yeah.
and you have to select the appropriate words for whatever question that was put out there. That way it's kind of, to me, I don't think you get anything if you fail it. I haven't failed it yet, because really you just got to pay attention to what's been going on, and you can pick whatever keywords you get.
This reminds me of the literary club, and The really annoying.
Doki Doki.
That's the one. Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not as depressing as that, though.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, thankfully. Jeez.
But yeah, so you go through and you do that, and then you've got your main HQ area where you can go through. You can save your game there, which the game has an autosave feature, and it's really generous. I actually had the game crash on me once during a cutscene. It was getting ready to send me back into fight, and the game crashed. Well, this sucks because I haven't saved in a while, but luckily the autosave feature had me right before that movie. So basically, I just had to skip that movie, and then I was right back to where I was.
That's not bad.
So, yeah, load times in this game are really fast, even just switching between things. You have an elevator that you can go, in between the different levels of the HQ to get to different areas like the clinic, the base, the garage, helipad, all that fun stuff. And the elevator feels about as long as you would think an elevator would just take to get to the next floor down. And actually, they've got a system in the game called Iris, which is basically like the Batman detective vision.
Okay.
If you keep that on, you can see people through walls and like wireframes through walls and stuff. It helps you with finding information and stuff like that. If you keep that on while you go into the elevator, you can see as you're going down, okay, these people are going up, this other set of people are also coming up, and boom, you're at the floor that you wanted to be at.
Oh, neat.
So they've got the load times on here pretty good. I've noticed that going into a mission sometimes could be a little bit long.
Sure.
But like maybe 15, 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah, that's nothing.
So, yeah, nothing horrible. The combat in the game takes a little bit of getting used to because there is a lot going on where besides the 3 different weapon types that you can have your Legion do different things as well. You can move them manually through the battle, or you could have them do their own thing. And while you're fighting these enemies, you can, obviously, if you attack them from the front, they can attack you back. They can also block some of your stuff. If you get behind them, you do more damage. If you wrap them up in your chain, you can lock them down, and then you can keep attacking. Or if they charge you, and you manually move your Legion away from you and get them so that they charge into your chain, you can fling back the enemy, stun them for a second,
That's
go
great.
back. So there's a ton of crap going on, and it takes a little bit to get used to all your button configurations, because you have to recall your Legion because they have a cooldown, or they basically have a set amount of time they can be out in the field before you have to call them back to cool down, and then you can send them back out again.
Right.
So there's like a ton of stuff that you're trying to pay attention to while fighting, and it can get a little overbearing, just a little bit. But I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it.
It's like Bayonetta and all of the other character action games though, where it's like it starts to slowly but surely add more and more in, and it does get overwhelming, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, it's just like, oh, I'm a genius at this. I don't even need to pay attention anymore.
Well, and they do have a tutorial for you to go through, which I highly recommend you go through, because it's real. Some of the stuff they'll tell you about, and they'll have you do like a one-off with it real quick, like chain jumping. You can manually move your Legion somewhere, you hit another button, and then the Legion will pull you, and then you jump to him.
Oh, cool.
You can also use that in battle to do chain combos and aerial attacks and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But it's real simple to forget, all right, how do I do that? How do I put him in the air so I can plunge down? And, so
right.
There's a lot going on, and I really love this game.
Yep.
I just put it on my wish list. That sounds up my alley.
Yeah, and there's also toilet fairies in the game.
Naturally.
So
well, you did mention it was Japanese.
Yeah.
So whatever one you pick, male or female, you are the brother or sister to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings this up to another thing. Your character is a silent protagonist no matter which one you pick. However, they have voices for both characters. So I am playing as the woman. The brother has a voice. I don't.
Gotcha.
But I had seen in some of the streams of other people playing, if you play as the brother, the sister has the voice.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So that's kind of weird, but whatever. I'm getting over it. I'm used to playing games with silent protagonists anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, so depending on which sex you pick, depends on which bathroom you can obviously go into.
Mm.
So you go into the women's bathroom, and they've got like all these signs up all over the place that says, keep the place clean, do your part, and all that. And you can actually choose to go and use the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
All right, screw it, whatever. It's an option. So I do it. Screen blanks out, and you just get like the audio of toilet flushing, hands being washed, and then you get an item that says, "Hey, you've received toilet paper."
Thanks.
But, okay, I guess this is my tissue pack from Yakuza.
Yeah, exactly. I have 400 of these things. All right.
Yeah. So after I get done with that, there's a stall next to you that's closed, and all of a sudden this person starts talking to you. And I thought it was just going to be this weird thing of, oh, hey, they're out of toilet paper, and, hey, I happen to have toilet paper. No, it's an actual fairy that apparently goes through and cleans the bathrooms in all of the Ark.
Wow.
Okay.
That must be nice.
I'm literally just thinking of the giant woman from Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Well,
you don't, the toilet now.
You don't ever see the fairy either. The door is shut, and even if you turn on your iris, it won't let you see through the door.
Oh, wow.
So basically what you do to help out this fairy is when you go out to do your missions, if you happen to find a random bathroom, go and use it, and then you will receive different types of toilet paper to bring back to give to this fairy to help keep the bathrooms clean. The last mission I was on, I had a dried leaf, which was given to me as a piece of toilet paper, so I gave that to a fairy, and I got my item.
Great.
Jeez.
I love
Yay,
it.
Japan!
I love dumb stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's all kinds, and there's a lot of customization you can do in the game too. There's a lot of costumes that you can get. You can choose, like, hat, eyes, face, chest, torso, legs, whatever. You can change completely how your character looks. You can change all the item, like the color customization and all that. And I looked up just to see if they were coming out with any DLC for costumes or anything like that, and they had actually retweeted and in an interview had said that they will not be releasing DLC for this game, that it is a quote-unquote completed game.
Oh, interesting.
So everything that you would want for costumes is unlockable in the game.
Cool.
So it's like, all right, cool. That sounds
up.
real good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I really love this game, and I want to keep playing it. I've only been playing it docked. I haven't played it portable, so I don't know how it handles that way.
I've heard some issues about the controls not being the best for portable play.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which I can believe, but whatever. It's really nice on dock, and that's all I wanted to add. So.
Yeah.
And that is all that I've been playing. So go pick up Astral Chain. It's really awesome.
Yeah. All right, let's go into the week of disappointments. Destiny 2 did another Crown of Sorrow raid. Normally wouldn't mention this. I was the guy in the raid that could not stay alive, no matter what. In every encounter, every
run. So this week, you were the disappointment.
Yes, I was the disappointment. So I apologize to my raid team. It's one of those things where it's like the raid was acting weird, it was acting buggy, and I got punched by an enemy and flew hundreds of feet up in the air and hit the ceiling and died. How'd that happen?
I'm sorry, this just reminded me of a conversation I had earlier this week while playing Apex, where I was like, look, if you're gonna don't say you're bad, you blame her on something like a pro gamer would. Like the controller was drifting, your batteries died,
right? Lag.
Something happened, it was lag.
Yeah, cheaters. I'm getting DDoSed.
Using my Mad Cats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like you're a professional race car driver, boss, in the amount of excuses you throw out.
No, that one wasn't my fault. Everything else was my fault. Just playing sloppy. Just not doing great. Next up, Rad. I had another really good ranged run, which is pretty much the only good runs I have in this game, it would seem. As a result, I leveled up my account enough to unlock my first quirk, which is basically modifiers. First one is basically when you start a new run in Rad, you have 3 hearts, and each one of those has 2 segments. So you basically will essentially take 6 hits. When you beat the first boss, you get another segment for your first heart, so you'll take 7 hits total. This first one is you get a fire protection heart. So you have your 3 red hearts, and then you have another one that's on fire. If you get hit with fire damage, it will take that hit for you and deplete that heart, and then regenerate that fire heart over time for you. So it's a little bit of fire protection, which sounds okay. I don't know how to feel about Rad, man. I think Double Fine has a really great foundation there, but I'm frustrated at the number of melee runs that just don't go anywhere, especially once you hit that first boss. None of the characters have any diversity, so you're unlocking characters as you go, but they all just look different. It's not like, I unlocked Maggie, and now she moves slower, and she's terrible, and now I unlocked this super-powered character. They're all just skins on top of, you start the game, you have 3 hearts, and you have a bat. Like, that's really what you're doing. Yeah. So I think from a longevity standpoint, that's one of the most frustrating things about Rad, and that's probably the reason why I won't stick with it, especially in the face of Risk of Rain 2 and a lot of these other games that we're playing and really enjoying. Is those unlocks are way more impactful. When you unlock a new character in Risk of Rain 2, for example, it plays significantly different.
Because she's super OP.
Yeah, when you add a new item to your pool in something like Risk of Rain 2, it's going to change something about the game. It might be a good item, it might be a bad item, or just okay, but it's something significantly different. And I think that's what pulls me through roguelikes more than anything else, is that diversity. And Rad, I think, is fine, but it just doesn't. It's not checking all those boxes for me. So that's kind of a bummer. The House in Fata Morgana, I put a bunch of hours into that this week. If you haven't listened to me talk about this lately, it's a visual novel. It's agonizingly slow. I cannot. I know it's working to something, and I know this is like one of the most celebrated visual novels of all time. It's just gotta get there. I don't know what it's working towards, but the game is telling a story of something hundreds of years in the past, and everything seems fine in the house, the Rose house, but obviously it's not, and I need it to start getting there, because after like 2 or 3 hours of reading stuff that is not really super exciting, and it's gotta start putting these pieces together. But I'm gonna stick with it because I know it's really great, and I am in the mood to read. But it's gotta. Let's get to the insanity part. Let's get to the rated M for mature part. Let's start getting to the craziness.
After the 9th description of how a pickle tastes, you're ready for it to carry on.
Yeah, it is setting up its world, and it is taking its time doing it. And I can respect that a little bit, but also let's get going, because when the game starts and you awake in this creepy rundown manner and you don't remember who you are, and you don't know who the person is that's with you, but she seems super creepy. I want to get back to that stuff. I want to get to the spooky business. I don't want to read where the house is. Okay.
Don't lie, Boston. You never want to get back to the spooky business.
I want to get back to the spooky business.
You refuse to play the spooky business games.
It seems really good. I'll read the spooky business. I just don't want it coming at me in 3D.
I don't want to control it. I just want to read about it.
Yeah, exactly. And last but not least, Quantum Break. I'm halfway through Act 2 on Quantum Break, so I have gone to the university. The time stuff has happened.
You mean the time stuff has started to happen?
Yeah, the time egg is having problems. I have made my first choice. I am really happy with how it displays the choice, because I was worried about... So, for the first act, you play as generic protagonist, whatever the hell his name is.
Iceman.
Iceman, yeah. And his brother, Patrick Moynihan. That stuff is fine, but I was a little worried you'd have to play as Paul Serene when it has you controlled him. It's like, I don't want to play as this dude. But thankfully, Lance Reddick gives you a couple of choices. I really like how the game presents those, because you basically hold down left trigger, right trigger, and it presents you with their entire plan completely, and sort of what it will do long term, instead of just, do you want to kill this lady or do you want to spin it into a PR move? And you're like, I guess I'll make one of these choices. It really shows you the long tail on that, and then you can make the choice. I thought that was really well done. I've watched my first episode of the TV show.
Yep.
I liked that quite a bit.
Yep.
I was not expecting... If I continue playing Quantum Break, that will be the thing I'm there for.
That's something I forgot to mention about Control. It does live action stuff in Control too. Carry on.
Yeah. That stuff is pretty well. It's not everybody is a super great actor in it, and that's fine. I have a particular disdain for the IT guy. He's not great. The guy who doesn't want people putting stuff on his desk.
I'm also that IT guy.
Yeah, like, don't put stuff on my desk.
Who's that?
I went with the first choice you make is kill this lady that was a witness at the school, or force her to confess and turn it into like a PR campaign. I chose the PR campaign because I thought that sounded interesting. Maybe because I went with that choice, then maybe that's why I got the IT guy as my main focus.
I'm just trying to remember who that is.
Yeah, they like a guy running. He's the guy that's in every like cop show where he's like, "Oh, you need me to trace an IP address? I got it. Getting through the firewall." Like that sort of guy. You know, real IT work. Wink.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like much else about the game. The shooting feels fine. The environments look pretty good. I like the couple of time whatevers they give you at the front. Like, you have that cool dodge where you can dodge out of the way and slow down time. You have like the time shield. That's pretty fun. It just... The puzzles don't feel really great, because a lot of it is like, hit this button and then slow down time from a distance and then go through this gate. A lot of that doesn't feel super great, and like you're talking about with Remedy games, the movement does not feel good. There's like...
It's a style of movement that you either love it or you absolutely... Well, you can either cope with it or you despise it.
And I feel like I was okay with it in Alan Wake, but here it feels like the amount of time it takes your character to get moving from a standstill is forever. And that can be pretty frustrating.
I'm assuming you're playing this on the easiest difficulty.
Yeah, easy or normal, I don't remember.
Okay, if you struggle with any point of it, turn it down as far as you can difficulty-wise. Okay. I will say specifically, if you are aiming to beat this game, which I do hope you do, because the story just goes some really weird places.
Yeah.
If you are aiming to beat it, turn the difficulty to off, if you can, on the last boss, because it's got one of those last bosses.
Great.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I would like to continue to play Quantum Break. I mostly for seeing how my choices play out, seeing more of the live action stuff. Like, it's such a cool idea that all this stuff you're interacting with in the world, not even just your two major choices, are all impacting not only the story, but what you're going to see in the live action TV show stuff. I think that's really cool, because the obvious choice in the first one is like, do you solve that time equation on the whiteboard? And if you do, someone goes, someone solved the equation in the classroom. Which isn't super fantastic, but it's fun.
It's a little wink and a nod.
Yeah, like it's not the most novel stuff, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah, honestly, that game is very flawed. I have no
Yeah.
problem with admitting that. And especially in 2019, I can't imagine what it's going to be like playing a 2016 game
Yeah.
in 2019. But yeah, I still love that thing. Like,
Yeah.
I hope you do keep playing it because honestly, that story is worth going through to the end. Just to see some of the egg gets really weird.
Yeah. I do have to say, especially for a 3-year-old game, its recreation of famous people's faces is really good. Still, even today, it's just like, oh yeah, that's Lance Reddick. Like you just put his face in the game, and it doesn't seem like it's Death Stranding face scanning sort of stuff. It looks like it looks like they've been crafted, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. I did also love the corridor. Like that corridor effect is amazing.
Yeah.
Like when you go through that corridor, it's just okay. That's great.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting explanation for what is going on, but sure.
Yeah, there's some cool effect stuff. I do like the time effect, like they show your hands where they have the fragments sort of peeling off. I think that looks really cool. There's some stuff to really like about this game. It's just the part where I'm playing it doesn't feel great.
The powers get pretty fantastic as well. Like some of the powers you get later on are amazing.
Yeah.
But I do, like I said, I hope you continue. I won't blame you if you don't, but I hope you do so you can see how much it's improved by the time you get to Control.
Yeah.
I hope. It's been a long time since I played Quantum Break.
Yeah, I'd like to stick with it just because it was the game that's still in my disk drive on my Xbox One. So, like, obviously I just need to finish it. Also, weird thing, I own it on disc. I fire it up and it says Game Pass. That's weird.
Yeah. It says it for anything you own. If it's in Game Pass, it will always pop up in the corner.
Right.
Because I own a couple of games that are in Game Pass.
I like that. But yeah, I'll probably stick with Quantum Break just because I need like an 8 to 10 hour game that I can sit down and I can finish and then uninstall and put away. Like I have other experiences that have longer tails on them, but I'd rather just get in, play a game, finish it, and then sort of be done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't play a lot this week because I was busy with other stuff, so let's take a break.
Yep.
I have a sip of this pop. I don't know why I bought this when I was at the grocery store. Well, I do know. I was shopping because I was hungry. No, I was shopping while I was hungry.
That was going to say, if you mean that you were grocery shopping while hungry, then you made mistake number one.
I did. I make that mistake a lot. So I thought, ooh, Wild Cherry Pepsi sounds really good.
I actually quite like it.
It is really good. I'm more of a Pepsi versus Coke person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, did we just get a solid 3 out of 3 for Pepsi over Coke on this show?
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Somebody reach out to Pepsi.
Yeah. This episode brought to you Pepsi Life. Hashtag Pepsi Life.
I wouldn't mind, but the tagline in the UK, I believe right now, is still better with friends.
Great.
Oh, look, there's 3 of us here.
Thumbs up. 3 Pepsi lovers in the house. What's up, Pepsi?
We could be enjoying a nice blue cold Pepsi.
That's right. Delicious. We have been recording for a while. Are you guys ready to wrap this up?
Yes.
No.
Okay. It's giving you space. Letting you answer. I don't want to pressure you.
No, I'm ready.
Okay. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of September 2nd, 2019. Catherine Full Body comes out on PS4. Still interested to see the full suite of changes for that game. I think Catherine is a really fun game to play. Its story will not have aged well. I can almost guarantee that.
I don't think I want to go back and play that.
Yeah. But it's a very cool competitive game, though. I'm glad to see that showing up in competitive fighting game tournaments.
Hashtag esports.
Yeah, it's really great. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered finally coming home. So PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
Nope, don't need another game to play. Thank you very much. Go away.
Yeah, my problem is, like, if this had come out, like, 2 months ago, all over it, Final Fantasy VIII for life. And I love Final Fantasy VIII. It's game season.
Hey, guess what, though? I may or may not have checked the achievements for this game.
Mm-hmm.
So easy.
Oh, I bet.
The ones for 7 were pretty easy, too.
Yeah.
I just haven't gotten around to doing them.
Yeah.
They're all like, collect the GF Shiva, collect the GF Leviathan. It's like, okay, fine.
Don't forget to open up that magic urn for Diablos.
Use draw 100 times.
Yeah.
And that's all fine because I hate it when JRPGs go super deep.
Right. Level
to the
all
point
8
of it being
characters to
stupid.
99.
No, not even that. Like Star Ocean. All of the Star Ocean games have stupidly ridiculous time-consuming achievements / trophies, where it's like 800 to 900 hours.
Great.
On a good run to get this crap because some of it's up to luck.
Yep. I think one of my rarest achievements is still Eternal Sonata. I'm pretty sure the easy whatever it is items in that where you have to play the game twice because some of the items only appear on the New Game Plus.
Yeah, God. There was some trophies or achievements too where it was like you can only get them on your 3rd run through, and it's just like 2 is probably where I'm gonna draw the line.
Mm-hmm.
The Spyro Reignited Trilogy comes out on PC and Switch. Monster Hunter World Iceborne comes out on PS4 and Xbox One.
Nope, can't do it. Can't do it right now. Sorry.
PC release comes out early next year, if I remember correctly. So I feel like you know if you want Iceborne or not.
Yeah, I do.
You probably want it, especially if you're still playing it. Monster Hunter World are just too good. NBA 2K20 comes out PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Normally, I would say it's the better of the 2 basketball games, but considering the recent news regarding them, I'm going to say I'm going to stay away from this thing.
Was this the trailer with the actual
slot machines
in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't view loot boxes as gambling.
Here's actual gambling. Yeah. Real bummer. Risk of Rain is out on Xbox One finally, now that we have played and finished it on We Were Like It.
It's the curse.
Like
the
2 days later it came out on Xbox One. That's only $10. So that's a good deal. Risk of Rain 2 is out on Xbox One, Switch, and PS4. That is $30. There is a bundle on Xbox One for, I think, $35 where you get both. So go play both of those because they're really good. I haven't heard any performance issues on console, so it seems like it's a
I should
solid
hope
version.
not.
Yeah. Well, certainly the first one did not have issues on console, but I haven't heard anything about the second one. Let's move into news stories. Yakuza 7 is finally formally unveiled. They announced it a while ago where they're saying, hey, it's not Kiryu anymore. Like, 6 is his last game. We're going to keep making these games, but we're going to have a new protagonist. They show him he had the big hair. Everyone freaked out. Yakuza 7...
and his fighting style has changed because it's not Kiryu. It's somebody else, which means that we now have to...
Yeah, it's now a semi-turn-based RPG. Instead of a beat-em-up RPG.
Go on.
They're calling it command-based, mostly because time doesn't completely stop while you're choosing commands. The world is continuing to move in the background a little bit.
One might also call this active time battle, maybe?
No, because active time battle means the battle is moving at full speed while you're waiting for a bar to fill up. This is very much like you have a turn order, like a lot of JRPGs. But
like Final Fantasy X, was it, with the bar across the top?
Yes, yeah.
And depending on the move you picked, you either went way back to the back or way to the middle, or...
Yep, and depending on your stats, it depends on where you'll end up in the move order. So, like, if someone is throwing a bicycle at you, which thankfully you'll still be able to do, if you're selecting a command and the bike is still going to be coming at your head, so if you take too long to do it, it's going to slowly fly through the air and hit you in the face.
You know, what would make this perfect is if in that moment you could pick a counterattack command, and then he would catch the bike,
Maybe you
throw
can.
it back, and then at the end of the battle, they give you the option to do a super hot and play it full speed.
That'd be great. Yeah, there's a lot that still hasn't been unveiled about exactly how the battle system's going to work, but I am really happy that they're trying something different. I know a lot of people are upset that it's not another Yakuza game, quote-unquote, but I like the idea that they're trying something totally new. So, 2 thumbs up for them. It's coming out in like February 2020 in Japan. It'll be late 2020 here in the US. So,
Come on, Xbox release.
I would never hold your breath for that.
Do you think I
It's
honestly
Sega.
do?
Yeah.
Who gets Sega, who only had the best-selling game they've ever had by releasing Monster Hunter on every single platform?
I don't even know what game that is.
Monster
Hunter.
Oh.
That was Capcom.
Yeah,
but
that
yes.
was Capcom.
Same difference. Learn from these people.
Yep. Someday. Next news story, Shovel Knight Dig announced. This is a Shovel Knight spin-off game in development by Nitrom, who made Bomb Chicken. They've been developing it for a year. They basically took Shovel Knight and kind of made it into like a Spelunky / SteamWorld Dig sort of thing. And
Why not?
it looks really good. So, I expect that to show up on the Wii Roguelike It list, probably, depending on how it eventually shakes out, but looks like it's
Yeah.
procedurally
Sometime soon.
generated random levels, so
Yeah, so we say in 4 weeks or so, Boston?
it's not out, has no release date.
Mm-hmm.
And stop besmirching my good name. Speaking of names, Untitled Goose Game gets its final release name and gets a release date. Untitled Goose Game's final name is Untitled Goose Game, which is really good.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
been
out.
known by so long, it's the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, the other title is A-Hole Goose Game, which I think you probably can't print on a box, but it's appropriate. It's
True.
coming out September 20th on Switch and Epic Game Store. I cannot wait to play this game.
The trailer for this looks so dumb. Like,
Yeah.
one of my friends retweeted it and literally just said, for some reason, a goose with a harmonica will never be not funny. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then watched the trailer and she's like, through a harmonica. It was just, okay, sure.
Yeah. It looks really good. I cannot wait to be a goose and just terrorize
It
villagers.
feels like Katamari kind of thing. It's got
Yeah.
that kind of vibe to it where it's just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm enjoying what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's like, we know this game is weird and we're just gonna have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also announced at PAX Homeworld 3, which is a game I would have bet we would never see. And I am very happy to be proved wrong. I cannot wait for another Homeworld game. These are epic space battle games, real-time strategy games, and they're just...
I'm sorry, you said epic space battle and I tuned out to make sure I don't fall into the trap anymore.
No,
I need to
it's...
not play any more epic space battle games, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's not... Are you worried that it's another Elite Dangerous?
Dude, I'm a sucker for sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like, I am the biggest sucker for sci-fi ever.
Yeah, this is... A Homeworld is something special because it's like, hey, have you ever wanted to command 400 fighters at once and have them attack another space fleet? It's like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. Let's do it.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, exactly.
I get mad when the biggest ship that I buy in any space game doesn't have enough weapon utility ports or whatever so that I can just light up space
Right.
with energies of death.
I want to create a new sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not a ton of details right now other than, yo, it's coming. It was announced by Blackbird Interactive, which appears to be a studio largely made of the people who made the original games. So,
Oh, that's good.
Cool.
thank goodness. Fingers crossed. And speaking of studios rising from the dead...
No, that doesn't
in
count.
this game-
No, I don't care.
a bad way. 2 investors have secured the rights to the Telltale Games name. I think Jason Schreier, however you pronounce it, from Kotaku, wrote it the best. brands don't make video games. Don't be excited that they have the rights to these franchises you loved, because
they don't have a studio, they don't have a development team, they don't
have any people that worked on it, because they're offering them a really raw deal, which is you can come back to the studio as a freelancer and maybe down the line there'll be some permanent positions for you. A real bummer. Just don't. This is a caution to don't get excited about. That doesn't mean a new Wolf Among Us will come out. It might, but it will probably not feature any of the staff that made the original one so great.
Yep, they are dust in the wind at this point. Not to
yeah,
use
I mean, like, they got laid off without
Infinity
severance.
War reference.
Yeah.
But like if you haven't seen it, go watch the No Clip documentary on it. Like, they literally had to scatter to the winds.
Yep.
Because they needed jobs.
Yep. Yeah. Boo. Let's move on to something a lot more positive. Questions. Lucian DC in Discord says, considering all the talk of Elite Dangerous, I'm surprised none of you are completely obsessed with EVE Online. It's my favorite game for a long time. I have many hundreds of hours sunk into it. Have any of you played it? What are your thoughts if you have? I'm too afraid of the learning curve of EVE Online.
I have installed this game 3 times. I uninstalled it before creating an account every time. I have been that close to the precipice of darkness in my life.
Yeah.
I don't need that in me.
You're standing on the lip of the downward spiral.
So, I have played EVE Online. Not very long, but long enough that I have spreadsheets.
Oh, okay. Long enough.
And and the reason that I stopped playing it was because of the monthly subscriptions at the time.
Sure.
Because I couldn't put in the amount of time that was required to really get anything out of it.
How much was it? Was it 15 a month?
Yeah, at the time it was 15 a month. I don't know if it still is now or what, but that was why I switched over to Elite Dangerous, because enough people had told me that, well, hey, you're kind of crazy with spreadsheets in this space game. There's this other one that if you just buy it, it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
So that's where, that's where I come from on that.
Yeah, I would much rather be on the outside reading crazy stories about EVE Online raids than being on the inside.
Yeah, for me it's like, you know that whole argument that everybody makes that everybody should work retail for at least 1 year of their life?
Yeah.
So maybe then we'd have some more decent human beings around. My opinion is everyone should play an MMO for at least 1 year of their life.
Yeah.
I did my time with WoW. I did my time with WoW Priest specifically.
Oh, woof.
So I'm done. Thank you very much.
You put in your time in the salt mines.
I can't, because if I started playing that and if I somehow managed to get my wife into playing that, literally it would be the end. It would be a case of, we're done. We're just gonna go join the Giant Bomb casts or the Giant Bombs EVE community, get taught how to play, and then have fun. It's like, nope.
Say goodbye to the outside world. I'm in space now.
Yep. And that's the thing, because I've heard enough stories about that game, like that epic, what were they, the Titan class ships or whatever, where they had so many of those massive ships in one area that had gotten blown up that the game put basically like a memorial marker there for the amount of money that was lost in that battle.
Yeah, I forgot about all like the money systems.
And the fact that you can steal other people's online time. It's intense.
It's also a game where you literally, to join some of the biggest groups in the game, you have to send them forms of ID and like pass credit checks and
interview with people and
it's crazy.
So that's why we don't play EVE Online.
Yeah, I'll stick to Destiny 2. much smaller in scope. T-Bomb Rock sends in a couple questions. First one, John Carmack was on a podcast. I'm not going to say which podcaster name it is. I usually support our podcaster brethren, I will not support someone who often has Nazis on his show. During the interview, he said that he should have done whatever it takes to get Rage out 2 years earlier. Excuse me. The technology was too far gone when Rage actually came out. What are some games you felt should have released earlier than they did? That's a really weird statement about Rage, too. Like,
yeah, but this is also Carmack, who is insane.
He is... I don't want to...
In that same interview, I'm pretty sure he basically said that devs should not be paid overtime. They should want to work hard to get the games out the door. It's like,
gross.
Number one, just because... don't get me wrong, I get crazy people who work. I get it, because I'm one of them. I'm one of those insane people who's like, you need someone to do an 80-hour week? I'll do it.
I'll do 90. Let's go.
I am that insane person because I was raised to do the job, do it right, and get it bloody finished. Right. I get it. I 100% get that attitude. But not everybody's like that. People have families and children and things like that.
He has lately taken to Twitter in a way that him and John McAfee are both in sort of the really odd place. It's very, very strange.
Well, I can tell you at least one game that should have came out earlier. The Isaac DLC for the Xbox. Get on it, Nicholas. Thank you very much.
Honestly, I couldn't think of anything that should have been released earlier. My biggest problem tends to be, maybe you shouldn't have released this yet. Probably keep it going a little bit longer. Hence, Anthem.
Yeah. I think if we let's just tweak this question a little bit and say, instead of come out early, just like something that should have come out early in a general statement, let's say something that came out in its current state that when it got released, but earlier. So it's not going to affect the game at all. It's not going to be different or anything. But I think Anthem comes out a year after Destiny 1. That's a completely different game.
Yeah, totally. I would almost want to say Fallout 76. If that came out around the same time that like Destiny 1 and Division 1 came out, that would have significantly changed the landscape. Because that would have been such a different, like, an online Fallout game would have been insane. But being released, late last year, I think it was? It's just an also-ran at this point.
Yeah. Skyrim for Alexa should have come out about 2 years earlier.
That's right. It's a Alexa launch title. Yeah.
The Final Fantasy VII remake should have been released 15 years ago when everybody really wanted it.
Actually, I wonder what would have happened if Final Fantasy Versus 13 came out instead of turning into 15.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Was there ever a story about what made the major change for that game series?
I think 13. I think Versus 13. It seemed from reading stuff that it just was never coming together. Like they just kept trying to get a game going, and it almost seemed like they had that whole what was it, like the Crystal games. They had some engine.
Yeah, they had like 3 different things going on at the same time almost too.
Yeah, and they like all used the same engine, and they were all sort of under this banner where they were like making 13.2 Versus 13, 14, and something else, and they were like, they're all going to be related. Yeah. And I think that made some bad games, like 14's launch.
Kingdom Hearts 3 should have come out about 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop screwing around with side stuff and put out
if we could get it tomorrow, that would mean Star Citizen would need to come out 52 years earlier than it came out.
Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Gaming's greatest alleged
pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Haven't heard good things about that game recently either.
No.
I just ran across someone vehemently defending the game, and a lot of it
was that he's put $2,000 into it and he wants to play his game.
No, it was It sounded a lot like a corporate mouthpiece where they're really reiterating what the developers are saying, where it's like, look, this universe simulation they were making didn't exist. They had to spend 3 years just to make this thing. It's like, I'm done with
Hold
you.
on. The universe simulation didn't exist. Let me tell you about a little game called Elite Dangerous where the universe is simulated.
Or like No Man's Sky, who did that in like it's Elite Dangerous Junior. Like and
not to mention No Man's Sky did that with like a team of like 6 people.
Yeah, it really read like one of those. Like I read the Kickstarter backer update, and I'm gonna reiterate it.
Was it that, or was there a bit of Kool-Aid involved in the mix, do you think?
Dude, there's so much Kool-Aid with Star Citizen fans.
Kool-Aid in a pair of Adidas.
Yeah, and a lot of it, I feel for them, because a lot of it is like Stockholm Syndrome, where it's like, they spent up to tens of thousands of dollars for a ship, a digital spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to be really weird to get your brain around for a game that
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's some playable stuff out there, to be fair.
Yeah,
but
you can walk around your ship and walk into your ship, but you know what? That detail might change later. This week.
Like, it's hard to keep up on that development, too, because like every couple of months I go and I look at like, okay, how much of Star Citizen is playable? And apparently there's a good amount of stuff that's playable now, but it's also hard to tell how much of that is really represented in the game and how much of that is
vertical slices.
No, how much of it is people that are way into Star Citizen saying like, there might not be much here, but oh, it's so detailed, it's so much this. Like, okay, like, can you walk around your hangar and is that it? Or like, can you go to some planets and do stuff? Like, what are we talking about? And it's never really get a straight answer to that. It's tough.
Anyway.
Next question. With the hurricane coming, I'll be home for the next 7 days. If you had 7 days of mostly #kids interrupted gaming, what would you want to finish from your backlog?
Is that Green Capped by any chance?
T-Bomb Rocks.
Oh yeah, he's in the same area, so yes.
Yeah. I think for me it would be a lot of the like 8 to 10 hour single player stuff I was talking about earlier, where it's like I want to bang out a bunch of these. Like, you got an 8 to 10 hour campaign, I'm putting you on the easiest difficulty, and I'm walking right through you.
Yeah, I know he's got Game Pass, so
perfect.
Hit that random. What my strange suggestion? This is actually how I found about Supermarket Shriek. Hit the random button on the PC version a couple of times, see if it comes up on the console version as well. And just download it on the console version if you can and play it that way. Or just the other version I use is load up the Game Pass tab, hold down and right, don't look at your screen for a while, and then stop.
Right, close your eyes for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But too, you can also sit down with a nice cozy JRPG or RPG of any type. That way, in case S hits the fan and you got a drop, it's still going to be there for you.
Yeah, and you can. True. That's one of the nice games. You can pause, like you can sit in a town for a little bit if you need to step away. It's not really high impact.
Find out one of your kids is playing with outlets and knives. Had to deal with that this weekend. Not with my kid though, but
thankfully.
I hate other parents.
Well, one of them plays Isaac, so his kids are fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Unlimited runs.
Graduated to tongues and outlets.
Yeah, it's the Isaac way. Yeah. That's all of our questions this week, actually. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. Get all the behind-the-scenes and early access stuff. Voting for the next Game Club game went live today. And that will be live for like a week or two. So go vote for that. There are 3 brand new games up there.
Vote.
Well, who's going to go vote right now? Your vote matters. There are not usually a ton of people voting for this, so go check it out. Patreon.com/E1M1. We are playing BAFTA award-winning Thomas Was Alone for our Game Club game. We've got a couple weeks left for that, 2 weeks, something like that. So check that out. We Roguelike It, still going strong. We just started a brand new game for patrons.
Oh, dude. The Game Club game list, there's 3, and oof.
They're all good ones.
It's a tough choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure this was randomly chosen? It says
was.
randomly right there, but I don't believe you.
Yeah, random.org/lists. Feed a spreadsheet into that and spits out some stuff.
Sure.
It's not my fault that all the games on our Game Club list are bangers. Most of them. I think that... Oh, a brand new episode of Old Dog New Flicks just came out. You can check that out on the free feed, I believe, is...
Legally Blonde. We discussed this the other day.
Thank you. Legally Blonde. Yeah, we talked about that last week. So that's out. There's a brand new one out for patrons right now. And I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay. Nimp, why don't we start off with your titles?
All right. I have Dead by Daylight. Just kidding. So there's a dude, a goat, and a cart.
Sounds like a bad joke.
Yeah.
Strange game. So strange. Gloriously rips off everything. Very English. Think of the little ones. Never pause the game. Paper mache hardware. Week of disappointments. So you were the disappointment. You know, the real IT work. Time whatevers. And the egg gets really weird.
Okay, how about you, Moon?
45 minutes to 3 hours. Right off the top of the show with a banger there. Yell to Propel. King of Drones. Challenge the Mountain King. Start Messing with Reality. Dat Sweet Romance. Hulkbuster Fantasies. Week of Disappointment. You Were the Disappointment. Energies of Death. Kool-Aid in a Pair of Adidas.
I have soap operas and game shows. Englishisms. Don't Pause This Game. Hulkbuster Fantasies. Week of Disappointments. The Egg Gets Really Weird. 45 minutes to 3 hours. Yell to Propel. And King of Drones. I think Hulkbuster Fantasies is on the short list.
That I would say that is right up there for me, along with Yell to Propel.
Yeah, I have both.
Don't know why that just flows so nicely.
Yeah, I have both of those on my short list.
Hulkbuster kind of takes it for me.
Hulkbuster.
Yeah, I think that's just a really good title.
Yeah, because it's really confusing.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? Well, hold on. What are we talking about here?
Alright, I'm gonna circle it.
Did this just become Dream Daddy?
Yeah, maybe. Alright, let me know when you guys are ready. A lot of vaping and thinking happening right now.
Yeah, I literally have nothing.
If I could get a vape pen to look like a pipe, I would be all set. Huh.
There are times I miss my pipe.
I still have mine up in my closet.
I don't know enough about the Marvel Cinematic Universe to even suggest references.
I've got one. Okay, I've got one. It's a deep cut, but I got one.
Stay Down maybe is one.
I got one. It's not going to be a reference, but...
Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 619 for September 20... Take 2. 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 619 for September 2nd, 2019. Hulkbuster Fantasies.
Little help, Veronica.
Better bring your big boy pants. This is going to be a ride.
Oh, Veronica. Alright.
Okay.
That's good.
I have to explain the deep cut.
If you have to explain the deep cut, it's not deep.
Okay.
That's that deep.
My second... I was torn between that and Sun's Going Down.
Sun's Going Down is a good one. Yeah.
But Sun's Going Down occurred to me as you were talking, but it's not a deep cut, so therefore that was disqualified.
Yeah.
The deepest of cuts.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.